Sitting here with Heidi Barrette, old friend from Orange County, and Heidi made a big move. I mean, like a big move from Orange County to Tennessee. And everybody asks me all the time, why did I move from Orange County to Tennessee? So Heidi, we're sitting here with you today. I know you had a successful catering company. You had flip truck. You were killing it in Orange County. So what brought you to Tennessee? Why did you just leave?
I was ready to invest in something, and after exhausting all the possibilities in my little circle of where I felt comfortable living in California, I just didn't find it. There was just something missing. And I came out here for my best friend's 50th birthday party, like many of us transplants do, and I fell in love with it. I had a realtor show me just for fun. I'm like, what if I look at places in Tennessee? And she started showing me certain areas, and it nothing resonated, but I had found an old historical loft, and I thought that was really cool. I thought, I want to know more about that. Can we go see that? So that was actually the last place that we saw very randomly that day, and I ended up buying it, and I fell in love with it. Yeah, and it was, so I was ready to invest, but then the more that I interacted with people here, it was just really a combination of how beautiful Tennessee is, how much history there is. I was missing history. I wanted to connect with something, you know?
Well, let's step back. I mean, you were born in Hawaii,
Yeah.
correct? So you grew up surfing. Then you're in Orange County. You're surfing.
Not very good by then.
Oh, but you were out there on the waves.
I was on the waves.
And you
Yeah.
decided, hey, I want the trees. I want the country.
Yeah.
I want the history.
Yeah. So it's funny, growing up in Hawaii, where we actually lived was out in the country of Hawaii. We didn't grow up on the sand. We didn't open up our doors and see, the waves crashing on our front porch. It was very close, but we grew up country style. Like my best friends did rodeos and listened to country music and wore boots and cowboy hats, and I always loved that. It felt so good to me. So moving to California as I was adulting, I went to every single country concert that came by. My little group of friends and I were like, oh my gosh, Jason Aldean's coming to town, Boots on the Beach, all these things, and loved it, loved it, loved it. And then coming here for that first time, like I said, for a friend's birthday party, I thought, why don't I peek at some properties? I'm ready to invest in something. I want to plant some seeds. And I fell in love with it here, Chris, honestly. The people were amazing. The hospitality, hospitality.
It's like open arms.
Oh
right?
my gosh, Southern hospitality is so underrated.
Yeah.
It's so true.
So now she's a phenomenal chef. So she's very humble, but you're a phenomenal chef. You come here. What do you see in this food scene that's going on? And let's just use Nashville, not just necessarily Germantown, but let's use Nashville in general. So you've been here for how many years now?
3.5 years now. Yeah.
And what have you seen from growth? I mean,
So that's a good question, because all I see is food. All I see is food. I live, eat, and breathe what's for dinner and breakfast and lunch and snacks and all that. And, I started just naturally being drawn to chef friends and going into fun little places in the little areas that I've lived in and finding neighborhood spots and then hearing about the cool spots. And I've been to a lot of spots, and it just never ends. And, hopefully we can talk about like where I ended up doing food here versus enjoying the food. But it started with just a food adventure of, my gosh, this is the best coffee I've ever had. Oh my God, I love this vibe of this tiny little neighborhood that's 250 years old, that's got Peruvian food right next to the best tacos I've ever had. It really started growing on me.
wow.
I couldn't get enough.
So, I mean, as far as you've been a lot of places in the world, correct?
Yeah.
So, and I know you've been to France, and that's great food.
Yep.
Been to Vegas. They call Vegas the #1 food town.
Yeah.
How do you rank Nashville up there?
Honestly, top of the food chain. Top of the food chain. Because what's different about Nashville food scene versus, like, for example, a Vegas food scene. Vegas just seems like it's trying to fit Nashville and Italy and France in that square blockage somehow. And it just feels forced. It feels like somebody's that shouldn't be there is forcing their cuisine to be there. And it just doesn't have the same vibe as when you sit down for soul food in a soul food town served by, the family of the generation of families that have been doing that food for 4 generations.
Wow.
It's just different.
That's a good point. That's some great
Not
stuff
just
right here.
not just the southern food, but there's a lot of different types of cuisine out here. It's a melting pot.
And it seems to be growing. I mean,
Yeah,
what I read on a regular basis is all these top chefs from all over the world, or these chefs are coming in
Yeah.
and they're just like coming in and just being part of the whole scene here.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're trying to put their name out there. I got this restaurant. They're just kind of slowly moving in, and you wouldn't know that they're here. And all of a sudden, you got another top restaurant over in
Yeah.
this corner, and we've got all these big developments. So, I mean, where do you see, like, we're in Germantown right now, by the way, guys, which is one of my favorite towns. I know it's one of Heidi's favorite towns.
it's definitely my favorite town here.
Yeah. And there's so many great towns here.
Yeah.
But in Germantown, the growth is off the charts.
Yep.
Right? Off the charts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's driving people to Germantown? I want your opinion. I mean,
Well, I can tell you that I've researched this because I live here, I've bought here, I'm growing my business here, and there's a reason why. It's historical, which is something I really, really wanted to be. My first place, like I said, was in a 250-year-old cotton factory, and
Very cool.
some developer came and built sexy lofts, and I just thought it was the coolest thing that on my floor was the footprint of one of their old scales. It was so cool. I sold that, but I bought again here in Germantown still. It's got that history. It's right next to Broadway and where all the city life. So you kind of feel like a city girl without being in the city. It's a mile and a half down, but you've got that history and you've got culture, and it is a food mecca. This is a designation in Middle Tennessee for food, and then of course you've got the growth on the river. They're completely redefining that landscape out there. I know you know about it, but with Oracle's headquarters coming and building a walking bridge from that whole new village directly into this town, it's bringing everyone together.
Yeah.
And I'm very
So-
excited about it.
what Heidi's mentioning is, so we have Oracle's moving their entire headquarters here. They just bought another $60 million piece of property to expand what they already purchased. And then they're building the Neuhoff district, which was the meat packing area. And it's just extraordinary. And we'll visit that on a little bit later today. But I mean, all these people from Oracle, where are they going to move?
Yeah, right here in
Top
Germantown.
jobs,
Yep.
top engineering, big pay,
Yeah,
great restaurants. So let's talk about restaurants.
yeah.
So what's your game plan? I mean, you're a top chef. I mean, I know kind of your vision, but tell everybody what your vision is.
I'm excited. I've been here for a few years now, and I've been doing things the roll up your sleeves kind of a way, and doing pop-ups, which are huge out here. They weren't that big in
What's a
California.
pop-up?
A pop-up is literally a tent or some kind of traveling kitchen, and it's like on the spot catering. So I do pop-ups for Bitcoin, for example, and I'm their pop-up chef. And every month they have their monthly meeting, and I come with my Slide Hustle pop-up tent. It's a beautiful tent, and my tables and my gear and my grill and my staff, and we just make a kitchen out of nowhere.
Do they pay you in Bitcoin though?
I do accept Bitcoin, actually. I do accept Bitcoin.
Cool.
Not a bad idea right now.
Yeah. So I mean, what's your aspirations moving forward?
My big heart tug is opening up a brick and mortar. It's funny, but I've been doing gourmet sliders. Somehow that niche found me. And since I had my gourmet food truck in Southern California, as you know, for 6 or 7 years, it just seems that the gourmet slider just won't leave me alone. Every time I try to cater for high-end clients for a Christmas party, cocktails and appetizers, they always come to me and say, could you do your sliders? So I've just really perfected that genre of food. It's a niche that not many people are doing. I feel like so many restaurants have a slider, but nobody's perfecting that food. And so I want a brick and mortar for those sliders.
So you say everybody thinks a slider is Yeah, it's a burger.
Yeah, it's a small burger. It's easy to eat.
But what's everybody's favorite burger? What's your favorite slider, or what's the most popular slider?
My namesake for Slide Hustle, it's called the Urban Hustle. HERBIN apostrophe. Urban Hustle. And it's 5 fresh herbs and garlic. It kind of looks like a chimichurri a little bit, like a pesto sort of, but it's just herbs, garlic, and salt and olive oil. And I slather that on a burger with brie and a horseradish aioli and like a really fresh arugula baby rocket. And my buns are spectacular, and put that together, and it's just amazing. I've been doing that one for the history of sliders here in Heidi world.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So on you talk about the buns and stuff. I noticed around here everything here is so fresh.
Yeah.
But I know we have our fresh markets in the summer. Where's your sourcing? I mean, how do you find fresh breads and all that kind of stuff?
One of the first things I started doing here in Nashville is finding friends in this world of culinary, passion. And I made friends with some very amazing owners of coffee shops and high-end restaurants and Michelin star chefs and everything in between. And so I would pick their brain and say, where do you get your bread? Who's that meat vendor? And so I started interviewing these farmers and artisans, and I found a perfect bakery. I found an amazing farmer who provides me with my meat. Very, very high-end quality stuff, whole animal butchery, all the way that they feed their animals, everything about it. So I put a lot of time and effort into every ingredient of mine, and it's all made from scratch.
Well, I know you do your research. I mean, this is your gig.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to kind of end on is just some questions I think people are wondering, like Tennessee, if I come to Nashville. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay. Top coffee shop.
Steadfast Coffee right down the street. Steadfast is a tiny little place. If you don't live here,
Germantown?
you don't. Yep, Germantown. If you don't live here, you don't know about it. It's not on any big map or to-do list. But they make the best coffee, and the honey latte is my favorite.
Honey latte.
Tiny little place right around the corner.
How about best breakfast?
Ooh, buttermilk ranch. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Been there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did you like it?
You loved it.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, good.
They cover
stuff.
all the necessities for breakfast.
They do. So if you were going to go out on a first date,
yeah,
what would be your place you'd go to? Or
honestly, a girlfriend of mine and I just went down. She just bought a historical mansion, really down in East Nashville, a couple miles down, and so she's all excited about her new neighborhood. And she called me a couple days ago and said, "Heidi, come on down. I found a Peruvian place around the corner from my house." And so we came, casually dressed. I had the best meal, Chris, that I've had since I've been here. It's called Limo, Limo, and it's in a tiny little corner area of East Nashville. And whoever that chef is, has got it going on. Its flavors just exploded, and on the plate it was so beautiful, but super casual. The best service ever. Just friendly people coming up to you. The owner was there. Introduces himself.
Lima, we're coming to visit you. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then all in all, Nashville, high-end meal.
Yeah.
You want to take your clients out, bedazzle them. What's the place?
Audrey. Sean Brock, Michelin star chef, comes out of South Carolina, celebrity chef, also a friend of mine. Audrey is an incredible restaurant. It's got, like, I think you do 12 courses. Some of it is omakase. It's a fabulous experience, and he does it right.
Wow.
Beautiful, and you're going to love it.
Well, we want to thank Heidi today for her time sitting in her beautiful home, and we'll be bringing you some more information on Limo. Looks like limo. We'll be visiting there next week. But we really want to thank you for your time today. I know you got lots going on, and thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah.